Have you ever lain awake to the phantom clatter of pins scattering in the dark, that hollow thud reverberating like the final toll of a family clock stopped at calamity's hour, the faint must of oiled lanes mingling with the salt of unshed grief on your skin, the chill draft of secrets slithering from concealed doors, mirroring our eternal vigil against loss, where identity fractures under the weight of what we bury to survive. In this episode, aired on August 28, 2025, as the series' time-warped bowling odyssey plunges deeper into the Sengoku shadows of fractured kinships and anachronistic alleys, Turkey. Time to strike strikes at the heart's veiled lanes. Envision yourself stirring in the creak of tatami underfoot, the moon's pallid glow slicing through shoji like a thief's blade, akin to the midnight summons in the tale of Genji's illicit trysts, or the ghostly raps echoing through Poe's House of Usher, where every sound harbors the specter of revelation. It's an impression that rolls true yet veers mysteriously, the ball teetering on the edge of the gutter. What lurks in the basement's hush, and why does its summons feel like your own nocturnal hauntings, coiling curiosity until you must chase the spare yourself, cascading from the prior episode's tentative reconciliations, where Rina's apology thawed the frost between rivals, yet whispers of deeper fractures lingered like fog over the lanes. The narrative tumbles into nocturnal unease as Mai rouses to spectral strikes in the night, rallying her sisters for a clandestine probe that unearths more than mere mischief. Amid the velvet gloom of the household, evoking the furtive searches in history's clandestine cabals like the gunpowder plot's cellar whispers or the fevered hunts in the name of the Rose's monastic vaults. Picture yourself clutching a makeshift weapon, heart hammering in sync with the distant rumble, alliances knitting tighter as backstories bloom like nightshade, traumas surface in quiet confessions, solitary pursuits clash with communal bonds, and a veiled discovery ignites frenzied defenses. The episode vaults forward, not shattering the arc's bowling time travel tapestry, but threading it with familial enigmas, yet leaves gutters gaping. Is this midnight unearthing a strike of truth, or the setup for a heartbreaking split, luring you to roll the next frame? This installment hurdles the series from interpersonal thaws to subterranean shocks, propelling the overarching narrative of temporal bowling bonds by excavating the Otanashi clan's buried fissures, with Mai's poignant parental revelation serving as an emotional keystone that reframes her relentless optimism as armored resilience. Key disclosures ripple in the cellar's ambiguous hoard, a twist unmasking not just a phantom bowler but echoes of a concealed kin, while the cliffhanger's drawn steel suspends the household on a razor's edge, priming the arc for explosive reckonings. Pacing masterfully gutters between languid wholesomeness and abrupt peril, sparse in its deliberate lulls yet eventful in revelations, forging a dramatic poise that mirrors a perfect game's tension. As an original anime sans source material, fan forums brim with cloudy aspects like the fifth sibling's veiled existence, twin to Sumomo, a traded phantom, or the basement's nocturnal rites, solitary therapy or sinister rite, while no manga or light novel anchors these, drawing instead from the series' emergent lore of time-displaced hobbies clashing with era-bound taboos. Discussions on platforms like Reddit illuminate the fifth likely embodies the clan's sacrificial secret, a motif seated in early episodes' orphanage illusions, where Sumomo's delayed rites stem from psychological self-exile, guilt's toll, per fan theories tying to Mai's crash. The anime amplifying this via added Sengoku mysticism to heighten the gutterball dread of exposure. Its advancement that doesn't split the pins outright, it hooks the curve, beckoning. If basements hoard our ghosts, what frame will topple them? In the episode's subterranean glow, Psyche's gutter and gleam, Mai, the unyielding club captain, unveils wounds of vehicular orphanhood, her motivations of fierce levity a surprising scaffold for grief, her choices transformative as she wields bowling balls not just as weapons but wards, evolving from buoyant leader to haunted hearthkeeper. Sumomo retreats into introspective isolation, her hidden scars of belated maturity. Fans speculate guilt-fueled suppression, fueling consistent solitude yet surprising in its poignant plea for solo lanes, a growth that humanizes her ethereal drift. Rina's arc softens post-apology, her dialogue a consistent bridge of remorse that surprises in its vulnerability, mending rival rifts while exposing her own abandonment echoes. Even peripheral Seguri surges with protective tremor, his blade a motivation rooted in fraternal duty. Choices cohere, consistent in quirks, transformative in their unuttered depths. Have you ever gripped a ball in the dead of night, its weight the only anchor against the roll of remembered loss? Beyond the lane's thunder, the episode probes Power's solitary strike, Mai's inherited zeal questioning morality's cost in concealed kinships, sacrifice manifesting in the clan's silent vigil, survival pitting hope's tenacious spin against despair's unyielding gutter, akin to Sisyphus toiling eternally on history's warped alleys. These manifest raw, Sumomo's lone pursuits a defiant bloom amid familial eclipse, the basement's hush a microcosm of time travel's moral maze. Do we spare the past, or let its pins crash anew? The Sengoku stratum thickens with era-specific concealments, hidden cellars as cultural vaults for taboo pastimes, time-warped bowling as a lore-rich anomaly complicating feudal hierarchies with modern whimsy, enriching the universe while ensnaring it in the drag of unspoken edicts. The script rolls with gutter-sharp wit, poetic in its sparse echoes, impactful sans cliché, lines like Mai's earnest, even ghosts deserve a frame, carrying prophetic heft that resonates post-credits like a lingering echo. Exchanges land true, foreshadowing Kin's cascade. Imagine the hush broken by that thud, the weight of confessions heavy as Lincoln's whispered cabinet packs or the tense volleys in the Queen's Gambit's mind games. Taut, teasing, tantalizing. What word would you spare in the dark, and what pin would it fell? Art direction gleams with nocturnal fluidity. Colors desaturate to moonlit indigos pierced by lane-glow ambers symbolizing buried yearnings. Lightings flickering lanterns casting shadows of doubt. Stillness in confessional pauses yielding to frantic rolls. Beauty here gutters transience, not triumph. Shaping impact as a tactile shiver of vulnerability's gleam. Angles plunge intimate. Low sweeps through cellars amplifying confinement. Compositions framing faces in pin-split symmetry. Editing's rhythmic thuds sinking to investigative pulses. Mirroring tension's hook and emotional unspool. The OST haunts as a spectral bowler. Subtle chimes elevate whispers. Crescendos of pin crash motifs burning into memory. Motifs of muffled thuds contrasting verbal voids. Silence reigns in revelations, louder than strikes. A hush where secrets gutter. Mai's VA infuses resilience with tremulous warmth. Timbre a defiant spin embodying her soul's unuttered fire. Sumomo's delivery quivers with isolated hush. Intensity a fragile hook capturing ethereal ache. This episode doesn't strike, it spares, sparking wonder in midnight kinships, leaving scars from the crash's phantom echo, a whirl of whimsy and woe. I felt the lane's cool kiss, a wonder in unbowed spirits amid eclipse. The climax hints at destinies colliding not in thunder but tentative touch, a breaking point refracting clans through Sellers' prism. It echoes timeless tugs, like the hidden heirs in Tudor tapestries, or the spectral siblings in the turn of the screw-esque governess gaze. What ghosts do we lane for love? Sense the ball's heft in your palm, the dark's insistent call, curiosity curves. What secret cellar summons your midnight roll? Reverse reading concedes gutter balls. The episode's sparse pacing might feel like a slow roll amid denser drama, complexity veiling the fifth's fog, opacity in Sumomo's rights frustrating. Yet reframe, these are stylistic hooks, opacity a deliberate shadow on Kin's eclipse, pacing a mirror to nocturnal drag. Appreciation for emotional ten-strike prevails. Critique notes tonal wobbles and wholesomeness, a minor split in the frame. Episode 8 triumphs in thematic depth and character spin, though pacing's leisure slightly spares its velocity. It succeeds masterfully in artistic hush and narrative hook, a beguiling midnight game. But as the cellar door creaks on that sword-edged still, a shadow pooling like spilled ink, I murmur this inexorable thud. What if the pin you topple isn't foe, but the frame holding your fractured self? Watching is no idle spare. It's the strike you must claim, the lane etched in your wandering soul, pulling you deeper into the alley. Heed the call, the night bowls on. Have you ever felt the resonant crash of pins aligning in perfect symphony, that triumphant echo vibrating through your chest like the collective heartbeat of a family reclaiming its rhythm? The sweet polish of waxed lanes blending with the warm spice of shared resolve, the gentle brush of unity's hand against the isolation of your soul, reflecting our profound yearning for belonging, where sacrifice forges hope from the fragments of despair. In this episode, released on September 2nd, 2025, as the bowling odyssey intertwines Sengoku legacies with modern strikes, Turkey. Time to strike gathers the Otanashi clan's scattered pieces into a heartfelt ensemble. Imagine yourself on the gleaming lane, the ball's smooth roll harmonizing with sisters' voices, akin to the unified choruses in Les Miserables, revolutionary anthems, or the familial reconciliations in The Godfather's tense gatherings, where every strike mends a rift. It's an impression that spares the split, curving toward catharsis without full release. What blooms when fractured hearts bowl as one, and why does its harmony resonate like your own unspoken yearnings, igniting a fierce desire to join the frame, rising from the prior episode's cellar confrontation, where a blade's glint exposed the clan's veiled kin and suspended them in peril's grip. The tale arcs into redemptive unity as Mai and her sisters confront the shadows through a pivotal bowling match, weaving apologies into alliances amid revelations of sacrifice. Beneath the arena's bright lights, evoking the redemptive duels of history's gladiators like Spartacus' defiant stands or the emotional showdowns in Rocky S. ring battles. Envision yourself gripping the ball, sweat mingling with tears as back backstories intertwine like lanes converging, defenses crumble into embraces, and a collective strike defies the arc's temporal fractures. The narrative surges ahead, not resolving the time-warped enigmas but infusing them with familial warmth, yet spares lingering splits. Is this harmonious roll a perfect game, or the calm before a devastating gutter, compelling you to anticipate the spare? This chapter masterfully transitions from subterranean dread to luminous solidarity, advancing the Sengoku bowling saga by resolving the seller's immediate threat through a metaphorical match that binds the Otanashi sisters, reframing Mai's leadership as a beacon of collective healing. Key revelations strike in the game's emotional turns, Akabe's hidden burdens unveiled as a sacrificial pivot, while a twist in the match's stakes elevates it from sport to salvation, the cliffhanger teasing unresolved temporal ripples with a poised ball. Pacing achieves a rhythmic balance, alternating introspective dialogues with dynamic roles, evoking a game's mounting crescendo without rush. Fans query cloudy aspects like the death decision line, literal peril or metaphorical choice, or the sisters' sudden synergy, coincidental or lore-driven. As an original anime, insights from forums like Reddit's r/anime karma discussions and ANN reviews clarify. The death alludes to symbolic sacrifice, seated in orphanage motifs from episode 3, where guilt ties to Mai's crash. The synergy draws from emergent lore of bowling as temporal anchor, amplified in the anime's mystical overlays to foreshadow arc finales. Its progression that unites the pins, provoking. If unity spares the split, what temporal strike awaits? Amid the episode's luminous alleys, spirits align in poignant formation. Mai, the steadfast captain, deepens with layers of veiled sorrow, her orphan scars motivating a surprising vulnerability, her choices transformative as she cedes control for collective strength, growing from solitary striker to harmonious guide. Akabe blooms in emotional release, her hidden wounds of familial burden, consistent yet surprising in tearful admissions, evolving her from peripheral shadow to central pillar. Sumomo's isolation thaws, her dialogue a consistent whisper that surprises in its tender outreach, mending ethereal drifts with grounded bonds. Rina's remorse matures into empathy, her motivations rooted in shared abandonment. Choices echo true, consistent in essence, transformative in unity. Have you ever released a ball, its path a surrender to the family's shared curve? The episode transcends strikes, exploring power's communal role, Mai's zeal interrogating morality and shared legacies, sacrifice as the spare that redeems despair, survival weaving hope through unified spins, reminiscent of Camus' absurd unity in collective toil. These manifest viscerally, Akabe's burdens a defiant rally against isolation, the match a microcosm of time travel's ethical weave. Do we bowl alone, or let kinship curve the fate? Sengoku intricacies expand with bowling as ritualistic binder, hidden legacies complicating feudal bloodlines with anachronistic catharsis, enriching the cosmos with tensions akin to historical clan reconciliations. The script curves with elegant precision, sharp as a hook shot, poetic in resonant simplicity. Lines like Mai's "Let's decide who falls" together bear foreshadowing gravity, echoing post-credits like a spared pin's wobble. Clichés avoided, impacts land deep. Envision the arena's hum enveloping you, confessions weight akin to Atticus Finch's courtroom pleas or the heartfelt volleys in Remember the Titans' team huddles. Profound, probing, pleading. What spare would you offer in Unity's gaze, and what harmony would it birth? Art direction shines with dynamic fluidity. Colors brighten from nocturnal blues to vibrant arena golds symbolizing renewal. Lighting spotlights casting shadows of doubt that dissolve in unity. Stillness in contemplative holds, yielding to sweeping rolls. Beauty embodies convergence, shaping impact as a sensory embrace of redemption's light. Angles arc intimately. Overhead views of lanes mirroring familial patterns. Compositions aligning figures in harmonious frames. Editing's paced build syncing to ball's trajectory, amplifying tension's curve and emotional release. The OST rolls as a choral striker, uplifting melodies elevate unity. Crescendos of pin symphonies etching into memory, motifs of harmonious chimes contrasting solitary echoes. Silence punctuates admissions, louder than applause. A pause where bonds resonate. Mai's Vey layers optimism with tremulous depth. Timbre a unifying spin capturing her soul's resilient arc. Akabe's delivery trembles with raw release, intensity embodying burdened bloom. This installment doesn't spare, it strikes true, kindling wonder in sisterly bonds, scarring with the ache of unveiled losses, a fusion of joy and jagged sorrow. I felt the lane's vibrant pulse, a wonder in reclaimed harmony amid shadows. The climax alludes to destinies merging not in fracture but fused strike, a breaking point refracting kin through unity's lens. It resonates with ageless queries, like the fraternal rallies in the brothers Karamazov's moral trials or the team rebirths in Friday Night Lights' gridiron fields. What pins do we align for love? Grasp the ball's curve in your hand, the light's warm warm call, curiosity hooks. What harmony hides in your splits, awaiting the collective roll, reverse reading admits splits. The episode's emotional density may overwhelm pacing, complexity in legacies fogging clarity, opacity in symbolic, death perplexing. Yet reframe, these are intentional curves, opacity a thematic mist on familial haze, pacing a mirror to revelation's deliberate build. Appreciation for heartfelt peaks dominates. Critique softens with minor tonal dips in whimsy, a slight gutter ball. Episode 9 excels in emotional symphony and thematic alignment, though density occasionally spares momentum. It succeeds luminously in artistic flow and narrative unity, a striking ensemble. But as the pins reform in that glowing aftermath, a spare lingering like dawn's promise, I echo this inexorable call. What if the strike you seek isn't victory, but the harmony mending your shattered frame? Watching is no spare chance. It's the role you must embrace, the lane woven in your yearning spirit, drawing you deeper into the game. Align, the pins beckon.